I wanted to talk about the romanticization of Africa, and I could speak on other countries, but I know that a lot of African Americans or Black Americans are moving to the continent of Africa because it's easier for us to blend in, and it's something or a place that we have been romanticizing about, even though the media told us nothing positive about the continent. But I want to tell you guys to be wise, and if you go to a country that doesn't work for you, try another one. There are 54 countries on the continent. I also want to express to you that there are and is a major difference in culture. It's not going to be the same. The West has taught us that we must be all-inclusive and we should have a wide or broad mindset of acceptance. And unfortunately, it's more so a Western thing or a European mindset and not necessarily an Eastern or Middle Eastern, quote unquote, Middle Eastern mindset. We leave America and we come over to a lot of these countries. We expect them to think the way that we think, and it's just not the way that it is. Now, I know that we can't help where we were born. We can't help the culture that we've been shaped in. We can't make them or force them to understand where we're coming from, and we will hope that they understand the same thing. The way that Africans look at African Americans or Black Americans is not necessarily the same as how we look at them. Let's just put it this way. I've had good experiences and I've had a few bad experiences, and some of it had to do with the fact that they couldn't understand the whole transatlantic slave trade thing, or they thought that or think that we're lazy and we complain a lot, that we're not taking advantages of the opportunities that are available to us. And when you understand that their misunderstanding is because of what they have been shown on television, just the way we were shown stuff on television. For instance, all they see us do is kill each other and act as if we don't have any type of culture or love for one another. And what we get is the 25 cents a day. They're famished and act as if they aren't civilized people. And so when they're being shown New York, and Miami and the big life, they're trying to understand what we're complaining about. And I get it. When they think about struggles, they think about not having power or consistent power, or food and running water. They don't really understand why we're complaining, and that's fair. But at the same time, our struggles are different. If you notice, a lot of African Americans or Black Americans have chosen to leave a lot of those things to come to a more simpler life. A lot of that has to do with the system at play. When we go to Africa, we're not looking to take anything away from the continental Africans. We are looking to bring something to the table, and we're willing to do that, even with the little bit that we have. With the continental Africans having the mindset that we have a lot of money because we have electricity, because we have food, because we have water, and our struggles are different. They don't really understand the sacrifices that we've made as African Americans or Black Americans to come to the continent. I think that the dialogue is happening. Well, as a matter of fact, I know it is. And I know that African Americans or Black Americans are choosing to have these difficult conversations with continental Africans. And I call them continental Africans because they were actually born on the continent. But we're choosing to have this dialogue because it's the only way that we're actually going to come to some type of resolve or understanding about one another. And when you come without changing your mindset to the continent of Africa, you're going to have a problem with adaptation and expectation. I want to tell you to lower your expectations. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing, but if you're measuring it against America, then you should come with low expectations, because they do have paved roads, they do have mansions, and they do have nice things in certain areas. But to be realistic, there are some things, actually a lot of things, that could be better. And that's where we come in, where we want to help them be able to do that. But there is unfortunately another power at play on the continent in these countries that we don't have power to change, you know. And some battles aren't our battles. You know, we did a lot of fighting here in America, and we fought in every war, and we're still fighting for equal rights. And a lot of us are just tired. We know that we've been lied to. We know that we have to stay strong, and we have to adapt and do whatever it is we need to do to survive. We'd rather have the simpler life and be at peace, deal with the rolling electricity and going to the river. Not all of us, but a lot of us, you know, to fetch water and stuff like that, if we're going to be in peace. If you're coming to Africa, don't expect, or it will help when you're coming to Africa to just, like I said, have low expectations, but not in a negative way. Don't think that every road should be paved, because it won't be. Don't think that you're going to be charged fair prices, because you won't be. Don't expect for their cleanliness to be your form of cleanliness, because it won't be. Don't expect them to understand your culture, because they won't. Don't expect for them to jump through hoops or really accept you, or not even that. Don't expect them not to want to take advantage of you, because they will. If you come to Africa romanticizing it, you will fail, because that love that you have at first, that euphoria that you feel, will go away, and eventually you'll start seeing things in a different light. It's, you know, it's like going on a vacation. You go, you see all of these good things. A lot of times you experience all of these excursions and you're just having a lovely time, but when you actually live there, you'll start to see some things that you wouldn't quite necessarily agree with. And so, like I said, there are 54 countries, and I'm not saying go to all 54, but there's something for someone, somebody. But just deal with the inside first. Deal with your heart and your mind first before you decide to live on the continent or move to the continent of Africa and live in one of those countries, because it's definitely not going to be like America. If you can do that, if you can adapt easily, I don't think that you'll have a problem. There's a lot that goes on the continent. It's not always peaches and cream, but you just have to find that place that works for you. That's all I can say. Like, you just have to do that. You have to be willing to adjust or accept things, certain things that you necessarily wouldn't accept in America, because the laws are different and they're not necessarily designed for you, you know? And we have to be realistic in our thinking to know that law wasn't designed for the foreigners that come to America either, right? So we have to be fair. But I probably was all over the place. I just wanted to have a talk. I'm about to get ready to wrap this vlog up, and I just wanted to thank you guys for your support. Thank you so much for like subscribing, joining the tribe. I hope that you guys like this video. Leave a comment, hit that notification bell so you know when I'll post a new video. And I thank you so much for your time. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.